Hello everyone, this is GamesWithFrank and welcome to tutorial 4 of the Cozy Exploration video game series with Unity and Playmaker. And in the last tutorial, we looked at how to build a coin collection system. And in this one, we'll be creating some NPCs and we'll be covering dialogue. But for now, I'm gonna import the characters that we need. It's just a texture change for this one because we are using the Kenny characters. So I'm gonna quickly add the different skins that I got here. Add these two here. And I'm gonna close that. So we have two other NPCs to work with. So I'm gonna duplicate this and call this one NPC1 and duplicate it again NPC2. NPC1 will have the skater female. NPC2 will have the cyborg female. So now if I duplicate the player, and I'm not gonna put the tag as player, I will call this NPC1 and I'm gonna remove all the FSMs that we have on this one, which are the movement and jump. So I'm gonna put the NPC right over there, maybe somewhere like that. And if I get the animator controller, I'll just duplicate this and call this NPC. And let's take a look at what exactly are there. So we don't need jump for the NPC really, unless we're doing some kind of complex enemies and stuff like that. But we just need a normal running or walking NPC for that matter. For now, we'll just use the running animation. I don't know if we have a walk animation. Let's see. Let's see if that works. And I'm gonna delete some of the parameters here. I'm gonna delete that one, delete that one, delete that one as well. And I'm gonna do a simple bool is walking. And I'll change this state name to walk. And set the condition to true. Set the walk-in condition to false, and we'll go back to idle if that is false. So that's a basic setup for the NPC. And let's just change the material on this one so that we can differentiate. Yeah, I think that should do. So we can differentiate between the player. And once that is done, and I'm gonna just quickly see if I can add a nav mesh to this one. So I have the package imported. Now if I search for navigation and navigation surface, you can see that there is a new system. So you can see that there's a nav mesh thing here. Like if I add a cube, actually let's just bake it again, and you can see that it automatically gets updated as an obstacle. So that's working properly. So I'll just delete that and rebake. So the NPC should be able to walk in this particular area. So I think what we can do is create some kind of colliders, and that would restrict the NPCs to the paths, but that's a little bit too complicated. So if I change the agent type here, open agent settings, and if I decrease the max slope and make it again, you can see that the maximum height that the NPC can go is being decreased. And so I can just make it like really small, like that. And now if I go back to the terrain sculpt mode, and if I raise it a little bit more, like that, you can see instantly that gets detected as a obstacle kind of thing. So if I reduce the strength to a tiny bit, if I deactivate the mesh here, so you can see that this area is accessible for the NPC, but it's only a little bit elevated, so the player can access it, but the NPC can't go out of this path. So that way it's really comfortable for us to add waypoints and make the NPC go to a particular place and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna stop here. We are not gonna need more advanced stuff than this. So I'm gonna leave it at here and just hit bake. Maybe change the agent settings a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. I think that should do it. So let's close this, and we are not going to use this agent type for the player, so that won't be a problem. So just disable the show now mesh option, and let's try to make a simple walking NPC that moves from one point to another. So let's check whether the point is accessible. I'll just create an empty game object here, and I'm gonna call this one waypoint 1, and let's call this one waypoint 2, and I'm gonna bring that over to this side. So there are 2 waypoints. The NPC would just like go to that point and come back to this point. Patrolling enemy kind of behavior. So right away, if I go to the NPC and add an FSM, also we are going to get the pathfinding package. This will be really important for the NPCs, so I'm going to import that package from the ecosystem. So once that is imported, I can just go to the first state and say set destination as game object, and I'm gonna add an AI Namash agent, and I'm gonna set the waypoint 2 as our destination. And let's just play the game and see what happens. And you can see that right away the NPC starts moving towards the waypoint 2, and it does reach. So let's come out of this one. So we can use the get agent path status or remaining distance. Even this would do. Let's try both of them. I would then say wait, and that'll be in a new state. In this state, we'll just wait for, let's say, 3 seconds, and then go to the first waypoint, and that'll be almost the same as this one. So I'm going to disable this particular action for now. So I'm going to select these 2 and paste it here as well. And the same goes for this one, except it's in a different state. And this goes in a cycle like that. And make sure that it's finished. But here we are going to use the waypoint 1 instead of waypoint 2. So that being a cycle, let's just see what happens. The enemy should move towards one point and wait for 3 seconds, then go back to the other point. Okay, looks like we are calculating the path, and if it calculates the path, then this event is getting called, so that's not exactly what we need. So path complete is just calculating whether the NPC is able to reach that particular point. We'll be using this for something else. So I'm going to delete this one. And so basically the issue here is that it's calling the arrived event a little bit too fast, and that is an issue. So we'll need to separate these two actions by a little bit. So we'll wait for 3 seconds and we'll just add another state, which will just set the other waypoint and wait for 1 second. Let's just say window time. And I'm gonna say this is the check waypoint distance. And it's gonna wait. Let's just see if that throws any error. So the remaining distance becomes 0 and it waits for 3 seconds. And it sets the other place as the destination and it's moving towards that. The same problems arise, so that window time will need to make it again. Let's just get this one here, and this will be waypoint 2. And I think this should be the start state, and I'll change the state name to check waypoint distance. So it's gonna go to the other place and wait for 3 seconds there, then set the destination, and the distance becomes proper. So there seems to be some issue with the Playmaker actions. If you call them at once, there might be some issue. So you need to make them separated through different states. So I think that's working perfectly. If I change the waypoint here to somewhere else, like there, it should be able to pick that up and calculate the path. As you can see here, the red line represents the path, and this becomes a system in itself, right? So that's that. I'm gonna come out of the play mode and we will change this to waypoint system. Now let's change the animation of the NPC. I'm gonna change this to NPC first. And if you remember, the NPC's animator is just like one bool, and we are going to set animator bool, and walking will be true, and walking will be false as soon as they reach the destination. And the same goes for the other one as well. It should rather be here where you set the destination as game object. So I'm going to copy that and paste it in window time. And the same, I'm going to paste it in this one, the wait state, and save it. So it looks like it's being changed to the walk state, but the walking animation is not perfect. And it's going to a T-pose in the middle, which is like bad. So if I replace this to run, I think this is more better than the other one. I'll just open up Mixamo quickly and add a walk animation. Just replace this one with the walk that I've just added. Now I think it should also match the pace at which the NPC is moving from waypoint 1 to 2. As you can see, it looks more natural and realistic. Oh, it looks like the NPC is stuck. So we'll need to freeze the position of the NPC in order to make them unstuck. That is one fix that I found. So I think that's working perfectly. So we've created the NPC character. Now in the next tutorial, we'll be looking at how to make dialogue. So that's it for this tutorial. I'll see you in the next one. This is Games with Frank, signing out.